Hi, it's Chef Julie with Raw Bites Happy Food, and I wanted to show you guys a little tutorial about a very, very interesting food called the jackfruit. Now this is something that maybe you've seen in Asian markets, Thai markets, Chinese markets, Korean markets, Japanese markets, and you've wondered what it is. Well, it's a big ball, kind of the size of a watermelon, and they can be really huge. And this is what it looks like on the inside. What it is some pods and some membranes, and it's got a really amazing fruit inside that is edible, and then these fibers here can actually be used as a substitute for meat if you're doing any sort of raw dishes, and we'll get to that in a second. So the jackfruit, it has a very interesting flavor to it. It's kind of like a cross between a cantaloupe, a lemon, a lychee, and maybe a mango. And what I do to just get started is I cut the fruit into discs. Now this jackfruit that I bought today was actually 21 pounds. It was about that long. I had to carry it home in a box. And I gave half of it to Sherry Ray, so you can go get some of her food, or you can try some of mine and see what I do with the jackfruit. So the first thing is get a really sharp knife, and you want to cut a disc. Same way you would cut a watermelon. Doesn't have to be straight. And then you'll see immediately that some of these seeds are going to pop out. So you're welcome to just go ahead and put those off to the side. It has a rind. Then it has these pods where the actual yellow part is. That is the fruit itself. That's the best part. And then these membranes, these white fibrous membranes on the inside, are great to use as a substitute for any sort of shredded meat if you're doing a raw dish. So I've done a little bit of this already. This is the membrane, and I am going to be using half of it to do a taco al pastor, a raw taco al pastor with some Mexican chilies. And the other half I'm going to use, I'm going to marinate it overnight in my raw chocolate barbecue sauce. And if you came to my birthday party, then you know what that's about. And if you didn't, too bad for you, because it was off the chain. So first I'm going to cut it in half until we get a wedge like that. Now this inside part is really thick and really spongy. And I'm not exactly sure if it's actually edible or not. What you want to do is you want to cut away from you, take your chef knife, and just kind of roll until you can cut all the way around it, about 1 centimeter around the center. And get a nice good clean cut, because what that's going to do is that's going to enable you to pull all of the pieces apart a lot easier. Okay? You can actually taste the fruit directly on the core, and it's really, really good. And that's what the inside looks like. So second, you're going to want to, after that, you're going to want to lay that flat. And again, you're also going to break the membranes and the pods from the rind. So you're going to cut about 1 centimeter up from the rind. And as you do this, the pods will naturally start coming apart into chunks. You don't have to go fast. You don't have to do it in one clean swoop like they do on TV. Never supposed to cut toward your body, but sometimes you have to. And then that we can go ahead and discard, but if you want to taste it, there's a lot of fruit still on there. God, it's so good. Anyhow, so here's the pods. And what I do is very carefully, I just start squeezing it. And as I squeeze it, they'll start to break apart. And here is that white membrane that I was talking about. It's like a piece of fiber. And I'll go ahead and I'll separate that So you can use this as a raw substitute for pulled pork, or if you want to make a shredded chicken tostada with like a raw cracker or something like that, you can do that. This yellow part is the actual jackfruit meat. This is the sweet part. This is the best part, and I'm going to separate that. Now what you can do with that part is you can do anything from eating it just the way it is, fresh and raw. It's amazing. It has such a unique flavor. It can stand on its own. Or you can dehydrate them and make them into chips. You can use them as a base for a cream. I'm actually going to blend these tomorrow and make a blood orange citrus vanilla cream with the jackfruit as the base instead of coconut meat. So go ahead and separate that, and what you'll see is that out comes these huge beans, these huge seeds, and on the seeds there's actually a casing. And what I like to do is I like to take off the seed and the casing. The casing doesn't really have any flavor, so when you're preparing foods with it, it doesn't really add anything to it. And just keep breaking it down until you're done. You can do this in sections. Like I worked on the rest of the jackfruit for about an hour today, and then I got tired and then did something else, so I'm going to finish it now. But if you can find a jackfruit at a market, and if it's not too expensive, go ahead and get one. And if you have the patience and the prep time, try working with it in your raw dishes, and you can also use it for cooked dishes. I've seen jackfruit at India Sweets and Spices. My West Side friends know where that is. It's amazing. Grew up on that food. Anyhow, they do a jackfruit curry, and it's really amazing. And I think they actually use some of the core in their curry. So maybe it is edible if you cook it, but I really wouldn't attempt to do anything with it raw. Anyhow, like I said, half of this is going to become a barbecue raw chocolate pulled pork sandwich, and the other half of it is going to be a raw taco al pastor. And this is going to turn into an amazing red blood orange citrus cream. And if you need any recipes, please email me, rawbiteshappyfood@gmail.com. Thank you.